All right. That is the end of the chapter from introducing the Orthodox faith, or the Orthodox Church, its faith and life, the chapter on the Holy Trinity. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot for me to add or comment on, but like one thing I was reflecting on as I read was the nature of mystery. Sometimes I guess one way that I've heard mystery described is in relation to the mystery religions of the first century in Greece, where to be like inducted into a mystery cult was to partake in certain cultic rituals that reframed your understanding of reality. And that reframing took place because of an experience that you had in the temple, in the mystery cult. And usually those mysteries were sexual in nature. So you take someone who's a virgin and then, like basically a child, because a lot of these were, these mystery cults practiced child prostitution. So you induct that child into the mysteries, and that reframes, or anybody who joins the mystery cult, and that reframes how they see their relationships with others and how they see reality arranged around them, around that central hidden mystery. And so just like it, sleeping with a child prostitute changes your frame of reference for reality. And the symbology. You just go look at the cults of initiation as they're portrayed in murals in, let's see, in what's that city that burned to the ground? It starts with a P. I can't remember, but there's cultic imagery all over that town. Why can't I remember the name of it? Anyway, it was covered in ash. There was a volcanic eruption in it, and it's covered in ash. I guess I can look it up right now. Pompeii. That's what the city's called. Pompeii. So Pompeii, that like these like temples of these mystery cults were perfectly preserved under piles of ash from the eruption of a volcano, and it clearly details, like, there's naked children, there's there's a young woman who's just come to the flower of age, probably 13 or 14, that gets inducted, and by the end she's a goddess or a prostitute, depending on how you look at it. So obviously the Christian mysteries aren't that way, but it's pointing to a similar reality. They took as the source of communion with God, or the gods, or the specific God that they were relating to, that they, the sexual act. And so it was a sex cult, as many cults end up being at the center of them. Like the source of union is the genitals. Whereas in Christianity, the central mysteries, the source of union is the light of Christ. It's eating the body and blood of God. So it is, in a sense, also a carnal act that's raised to a spiritual height. But as it relates to this, when he says mystery, that's what I think of. I think of that kind of initiation where you're given an experience that reframes the entirety of your awareness, how you make sense of life, the world, and how it all fits together. And the way you think, your thoughts and intuitions come to be shaped by the mysteries in the church, which are considered those touch points after your initiation into the Christian cult. They're the touch points that connect you to the infinite God, who reveals himself as food and drink at the table, and thus acts as a glue that binds the community together and provides means of making that community eternal in time as an organic body. So ways of dealing with sin, like and stoking people on to metanoia, like the sacrament of confession, or the once again, the Eucharist. These all are mysteries that only can be seen in their proper context if the mystery of the Trinity is held as sacrosanct. But once again, this is a hermeneutic that you can only have if you are inducted into those mysteries. If you're standing outside of them, you won't understand. Just as if you, I mean, in the modern context, if you, when people ask kids in high school if they're virgins, usually they're asking basically a question about mysteries. Have you been inducted to the mysteries of sexual experience, for example? Have you allowed the mysteries of sexual experience to reframe your perspective on others? This is something that I found was clearly being articulated in the show Sex Education, which is on Netflix, I think, is basically I mean, I haven't seen the show, but I watched a trailer for it. And this guy is basically inducting whoever his new friend is into a new way of seeing based on like interpreting everything according to people's lust. And so you look around, see all these people, this person's interested in them. That's something you're only able to see after you have been inducted into basically a modern cult. And so it's interesting how you could apply the same type of terms, like sexual experience is a kind of mystery to the modern world. In a way that you could say the same about like cross-sex hormones. You don't know the mystery of what it's like to be a man until you're injected with testosterone, or you assume, but it's also a false mystery since you can't actually know what it's like to be a man as a woman and vice versa. Sorry, but yeah. So mysteries in the church. I'm going to end it there.